Hi, this is Jim Schuett, and we are on week 2, and we're starting up with naming your report forms. That's next on our packet of materials. This is page 19, and we're going to talk mostly about report forms, and that'll be the assignment also. So let's see here. Uh, Naming your report forms. Start every report form with the letter Z. Now, why would we do that? It's a good question. The answer would become obvious very shortly in your report writing efforts. Most reports use system.report or system.report_land. That's the portrait or the landscape versions. The listing of report forms in the printing screen is alphabetic. And so if you don't save your new report forms that you create with a Z, then they'll be alphabetical. And the whole system looks for what report form you want alphabetically. Most of the reports are system.report. But if you've got a lot of others that are before the letter S in the alphabet, you'll always pull up those on every report, and you'll have to go scanning down the list and pick system.report every time. Very, very time consuming and frustrating. So start with the letter Z, then all of your new ones come after S, and that resolves that issue. So let's go take a look here. Now, we're going to take a look at inserting logos and pictures. I've got some here on the page, but we're going to go straight to demo and show you there. But this is here for your review. But we're also going to do, besides logos and pictures, we're going to do lines and boxes, saving report forms, page number 2, what about that? And then company predefined fields. Then we'll go into your homework assignment. Okay, so let's go straight to the logos and pictures. So we're going to go over here to, I think I've got it here already. There we go. And this is the list of reports. And I'm on our test report form file, and I'm going to go up here to edit report form. Now, I did this before, so I've done it, but I'm going to redo it here so that you can see exactly how to do these. Now, the standard logo up here is the Sage logo, which is the house or two little houses, and they can be stretched out into any shapes. And when you start redoing from an existing system.report, which is what we're doing here, or if you're creating new, you'll need to readjust the shape, not just get the logo loaded. Now this is what this looked like when we first loaded the HP one, because that was the shape of the system logo from Sage. So let's just get rid of this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the picture icon, and it's called Insert a Picture, and all of the pictures, logos, and things should be .bmp, .bitmap, instead of .jpeg. That's what Sage wants. And so, okay, there's the HP. I'll click that and click open. Now we got it the way it is as a bitmap, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to need to move this out of the way so we can see the dots. I could just delete it and put a new one in, but now we've got the dots. This dot, and this dot. Those are the 3 dots you use to use the shape and change things like that. So I'm going to go up. Let's get up here a little bit better now. And I'm going to do this and move it over a bit. And this one I can do like that or this. Let's make it a little more square. Let's make it a little smaller. There. That's pretty good. And so that's all there is to putting your logo or a picture in. We'll do a picture in a minute. But there's a couple other things. I'm going to right click that, the logo, and click on Properties. Here's where you can, if you need specific sizing, you can do that here. But this is what I'm going to show you is the path. Now this is the full path on my system for this logo. And what it does is, let me go to the end. So this is the HP contract packaging logo .bitmap BMP. But the part before here, if it'll let me do this, that's the path in my system to my report forms folder. Now if you're doing this, you can just leave that because that'll be fine. What I have to do always when I'm sending customer reports and report forms to clients is I need to go in here. Let's go over in that list. And I need to erase the path part, like that part, delete. And I didn't quite get it far enough. Let's do this and there, delete. So that it's just the name. So when clients get it, their system automatically goes to the report forms folder and looks for this item and it pulls it up. But if my pathway or your pathway is in there, it's not a problem for your pathway, but if my pathway is in there and I send this to a client, it's going to look for my pathway when it's trying to load the report form on your system, and it's just not going to work. And so that's what I do, but that's just good for you to know. Now, so I'll click OK. There. So that's there. Now, we've got these two fields. I'm going to put the control key down and click on both. And let's say they were offset a little bit. Now if I want to line them up, I'll keep the control key down and also click on the logo. And then hovering over the logo, I'll come down and do left adjust. That lines these up. So that's nice and handy. When you are dealing with boxes, so that's the logo. Let's do a picture too. I think that there should be a picture down here. Yes. Now see, the picture is the same thing exactly. The logo is a picture, and that's what it's looking for. And so, you can put a picture in, anywhere in here. Now, if it's covered with this, sometimes it won't show, and sometimes it will. You just have to experience and work with it. If this is the flow part for all the data coming in from the custom report, and it flows down far enough to where it covers this, it may write over it. I doubt that it would write around it, but it could. It just depends on how it is. So you have to experiment and do that. Mostly, though, you won't have pictures in this area. This could be brought all the way up to the top. And put here if you want. Just be sure that the titles don't scroll over into it. So that's all I think you need to know there. Now, if you've got boxes or lines like these or boxes, I said that before, but in an earlier meeting. But to be able to grab these, see, I'm trying to grab these and I can't. you have to click on the white arrow box. It's called Select Multiple Objects. Now you can grab these. You can see now they're showing the markings. And so what I want to do, I'm going to just delete these and show you how to do them. So you come over here to there's the lines icon and the boxes icon. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to come over here and draw a box around that, keeping in mind the spacing. Now we can adjust what level the wording is inside the box later, but if you can draw the box around it to begin with, that's a little easier. Okay, so now see, I can't grab it, so I have to come back up here to this, grab the there we go, and now I want to go to properties, and this is where you can determine the shape of the box, where it starts and how tall it is, how thick the line is around it. So 1, it usually shows 0, and I usually change it to 1. And I want to put some color in there. Now let's go here to back color and click the down arrow. One thing about putting color in these things where you've got also have type, you really need to use some of the very lightest of colors. Because if you use the medium colors, or especially the heavier colors, the wording won't show up very well. And so I usually use blue. I usually use powder blue. Here we go. Powder blue or moccasin. Both are good. I like moccasin, so I'm going to double click that. So it shows up here now. And the boxes, we're going to work on some spacing and things like that. So let's take a look at this too. Visually, when I'm here at this box and I'm trying to make spacing easier for me, I wanted to make the numbers rounded, 5s or 0s. So that's not going to change that much. Left, and when you're doing a title, you want to be sure the box has plenty of room. So take a look at how wide you've made this capable, like 30 or something like that, and make sure that the box is sufficient. But I'm going to start it at a rounded number of 500, which will bring it over here just a little bit. And then the width, often, you can or sometimes or can't change that. But I'm going to make that a rounded number 2, so we'll make that 240. And now the height, I'm going to make 30. So we're good to go there. So let's just take a look and see what that looks like. Okay. Now you see it's covered up the wording. Now that wording probably won't show through. And so sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. So let's go out and see if I can grab that. No. So best thing to do is just slide it over a bit. Now I can grab it. And sometimes if you click on properties and save it, or just click it again, okay, sometimes it'll show inside here on top of the color, and sometimes it won't. I tried this earlier and it did not. And so this is, and we'll talk about the CP type fields in a minute, but this is the report title. And so I'm going to get rid of that and put in a new one, and I go CP caret. Most the fields on report forms are the CP versions, and they're pre-done for you, and I'll show you where they are later. Okay, and then RPT, did I get that? TTL, okay, report title. Now, let me make this back with these, right? Okay, now these are actually going to be inside the box, so I want to move them in. Okay, and now I'm going to put this here. Oh, but first I'm going to make that bigger because we want that to be good size. So 10 bold. I want it to be right adjusted, and we'll say 30 because this is title. Maybe 25. You play with that now. So let's save that. And now that that's highlighted, I want to make sure all of these are the same. So I want this to move over, so I want them to match up to one of these. I'm just going to hover over one of them and align right, and now that's there. Now I can click this box and move that down so that the title, but then I've changed my numbering, so there you are. I'm going to undo that. The very favorite word of all is edit, undo. Okay. Now if we go to properties again and see what that is, see, that's still not right, so 60. And this should have been 500. And 240 and 30 is fine. Okay. Now this is being hard to access again, and I don't. If this is above, if it sticks out the bottom or the top, you can sometimes get it that way. If you're having trouble, just go like this, grab it, and right adjust it there. Now you'll have to scroll that back out to about where it was. Now, one of the things that you will need to be aware of is spacing. And so the top number here is 65. Let's take a look at the top number here. Okay, that's 103. So if that was 105, then that's a difference of 40 between this one and this one. So if this is 105, then we ought to make this one 145. And that way the spacing between these is the same. Now it doesn't have to be the same, but if you're trying to make a batch of them equal one way or the other, that's a good thing to do. Now these are too spacey for this form, but you get the idea. Now I'm going to let you play with the box and do these yourself, because I want this video to be short enough to be within our meeting if possible. And so let's see, we've covered those and those. You can, now let's talk a little bit about, I'm going to slide this over and oh yes, I need to move this back. I'm just going to bring it over there. Actually there. Okay, this is another topic. Oh, while we're here, let me talk about page 2. Page 2 usually just has a couple of words up here to identify the form. If you're on the page 2, on the bottom you have a few things too, page number, that type of thing. But page 2 is really only for overflow. If you've got on page 1, if you've got a long document and it flows to page 2, you have to have page 2. Matter of fact, you should have a page 2 on all your report forms. Now, if there's overflow enough for 3 pages, 4 pages, 10 pages, whatever, You still only need one page 2, and that takes care of all the overflow. So just put in page 2 as an overflow and you're good to go. Now if you have other things that you want on here, you can do a page 3 and add, like contract. If you want to add a contract on top of the invoice, then page 3 can be the first page of your contract page, and add page 4, 5, and 6. So how do you add those? Okay, you come up here to pages and add a page. Now this is going to add a page. So you got 2 of 2. This is going to add a page at the end. So now you've got 3, and I'll go to 3, and that's blank. Now let's say we want to copy this page. So we can do page, copy page, go to page 3, and paste page. There you go. Now of course that's not what you would end up doing is this same page, but so a lot of times if you're doing contracts and you have the format laid out, then it's easy to copy and paste and make duplicate pages. So anyway, that's page structure. Add a page, remove a page, insert a page. Insert instead of add a page. Insert would insert one in front of where you're at or after you're at. I don't recall which one. And so that's there. Now, let's see what else there would be. I think that's it for boxes and lines. Oh yes, we didn't do a line. Well, here's a line. Pretty much a line is the same as a box, except it's not a box. Sorry about that. So anyway, you click on the line icon, come over here and draw a line. There you go. And getting the properties is the same thing. You have to get that little icon clicked on, and then you can go to properties and line it up. You can make it a heavier line, like 2, or I'll do a 2 there. You can make the line a color, and you can do the length and everything so that it looks good. But see, there you go. So there's a colorful line, and it's a little thicker. So let's save this and see what we're going to do next. I'm going to leave that open. And take a look at our list here. We talked about saving report forms with the letter Z. We talked about lines and boxes, logos and pictures. Okay, and company defined fields. That's going to be page 19. 19 right there. Oh no, I think it's one before it. No, it's one after it. There we go. Okay, there's the predefined fields. In my book, it's on page 23, this. So that's a listing. You can also find it in the materials inside Sage. But anyway, this is where it's at. These are all pre-done. If you want a current time field, just type that in, this number. Sometimes you can click on it and paste it in. But anyway, that's what all these are. Company name, address, time, user, the person who's entering in things. You got report title and report subtitle, company info, and things like that. And that's what those are. And they only work in report forms, and they're always CP caret and then 6 characters. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about homework. Now you can see why we are talking about all the things on how to do homework, especially boxes and lines. And so this is the assignment. This is a report form, and you can start with system.report or start from scratch. If you're going to start from scratch, you would go to 13.3. 13.3 right here. I'm sorry, 13.5. 13.5. And that's where you design report forms. But let's take a look at this. Now, let's read the side here because there's some things that I want you to do and not to do. I want you to use your own logo. Instead of Rockport, use your logo and make it the size that it needs to be. So and I don't want you to do this exactly this way. I want you to use your imagination and have some fun designing something for your own company. And choose your own colors and use the CP fields and choose an AR invoice with as many lines or whichever kind of a document you're using. It doesn't have to be an invoice, but I want you to design a report form that is better than just the plain old system dot. I want you to choose a form with as many lines as you have so that you can see the overflow into the page 2 stuff, if you have it. If not, then don't worry about it. Now, please do the best you can. Do not let yourself get frustrated. If it isn't going well, stop. Send me what you have, and that'll be great. So we'll have the full demo hopefully for the full class, and that's okay. Here's basically for this one, this is the final result. You'll do it all the way to the bottom, but this is the big part, busy part. And here's a picture of what the screen, the report, the creating screen that is. So it's got the margins, all the icons and things like that, just for your reference. And so the week 2 goal, I want you to accomplish creating a report form for your company or for fun, for whatever. But be sure to put some color and your logo and some boxes and stuff in there. Just have fun. It'll be quite good, especially since you're starting to see some results from your efforts. So again, do this report form, send it to me by Saturday evening so I have a chance to take a look and utilize your efforts on week 3's topics. And so again, I'll say thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Please have a good week, and I appreciate you very much. Take care.